one type of cancer. Just with ovarian cancer alone, there are about 30 different, last I checked, it was a little over 30 cancers just for the ovary, depending on what part of the ovary it is. So it's epithelial, it's small cell. There are several different types of cancers just with the ovary alone. And depending on where that is and how aggressive it is, it determines the treatment of that particular cancer. When you talk about gynecologic cancers or female cancers, that's not an umbrella term either. So there are several different organs that females have. So you have the cervix, you have the uterus, you have fallopian tubes, you have ovaries, you have breasts. All those exist. So when you go to the doctor and you just say, well, I just need to get a checkup or what have you, everything needs to be checked. One of the big stigmas that we have is that, I don't really need to go to the doctor because, I feel fine or what have you. But each body part can have an issue. And when you deal with gynecologic cancers, they all are completely different. For instance, cervical cancer has no genetic component. It has no link. So if your mother had it, has no link to you if you for yourself. Whereas ovarian and breast cancers, sometimes they do have a genetic link. But these are things that you don't know, but the only way that you can find these things out is if you go to the doctor. So when you get a pap smear is just simply testing for cervical cancer and for cervical dysplasia, more importantly. And that has just because somebody put a speculum in you and took some cells out your cervix, that's not testing your ovaries, that's not testing your breasts, it's not testing your uterus, that's not testing the lining of your uterus, which is your endometrium, which another cancer can form from. So all of these types of things they're completely different. And the treatment for them are also completely different. But the common thing with them all is that early detection increases the prognosis of all of them. Right? So the earlier you detect these things and the earlier you find out that you have them, or the earlier you find out that there's an issue, then the higher the chances of a cure for it. I don't know if that answered the question.
So that brings us kind of to the next question. What are some of the recommended tests that patients should request from their doctors if they have signs and symptoms related to ovarian cancer, or if they're considered to even be high risk?
So, number one, so as far as the risks are concerned, the first question that your doctor should ask you, no matter what, is asking your family history. So the link with ovarian cancers is the ovaries and the breast. So if you've had a first-degree relative with breast or ovarian cancer, and or you've had a male in your family that's had breast cancer, those are very high risk for being positive for BRCA gene or the BRCA. So BRCA or BRCA is the gene that is prevalent for breast and ovarian cancer. For BRCA1, you have a 60 to 80% chance in developing breast or ovarian cancer in your lifetime. With BRCA2, you have about a 50 to 60% chance of developing it in your lifetime as well. So if you have a strong family history of it, this is definitely something that you need to talk to your doctor about, because testing for this gene not only is for yourself, but also for your future generation and for your extended family as well. So if there is a family member that has tested for the BRCA gene, then you need to also be tested. That's just for breast and ovaries. All right. So when you talk about your cervix is why we do pap smears. And there's big misconceptions and misunderstandings about what pap smears are and how cervical dysplasia, how cervical cancer, how they develop. Cervical cancer is one of the slowest growing cancers there are. All right, so cervical cancer typically takes 8 to 10 years to manifest itself. Sometimes that's accelerated, but mostly it takes a long time. And the reason why we've had such success with combating it is because of the pap smear. And the pap smear is just basically testing the cells of the cervix. Well, what is cervical cancer caused from? Cervical cancer is the the only cancer that is caused from a virus. All right, that virus is sexually transmitted. So sexually transmitted virus, which is the herpes simplex virus, it can cause the cancer. All right, and what happens is that when you 90 to 95% of all sexually active people are going to have this virus. All right? The deal is that typically your body clears the virus. All right? So a majority of women, you'll get it and it'll clear. The problem is that out of these 100 strains of this virus, there are 9 of those strains that are high risk or oncogenic, meaning that they can cause your cells to slowly grow and progress into a cervical cancer. And that is what the pap smear is detecting, to see if if you're positive for this high risk HPV, or did I say HSV? I'm saying HPV, human papillomavirus. I misspoke. I'm sleeping. I was on call last week, excuse me. But human papillomavirus, not herpes simplex virus. Human papillomavirus, excuse me. So human papillomavirus has the 100 strains or what have you, and the 9 strains that are oncogenic or that can cause cervical dysplasia is exactly what we do pap smears for. If you are positive for the high risk strain of HPV, it doesn't mean that you have cancer. Right? It means that you have a strain of a virus that can cause your cells of your cervix to become abnormal, that can eventually develop into a cancer. Right? So when you get the pap smear and you see that you have it, then depending on how abnormal the cells of the cervix are, is what dictates the treatment for it. Because the more abnormal the cells, the more aggressive the treatment has to be.
Dr. Johnson, can you explain to them why HPV is highly recommended with our preteens, and it's recommended, well, I don't know, about the preteens and the teens to protect them from cancer-causing viruses?
Okay, so Gardasil is what she's referring to. So Gardasil is that's what you want to know? All right. So Gardasil is the vaccine for HPV, and what it is basically a vaccine just like any other vaccine that has dead, attenuated parts of the virus, the 9 oncogenic strains, and it basically is given it to the young child, which you want to get your child is between ages of 9 and 26, 11 and 26, excuse me. 11 and 26 is when you can get it. My children, I have twins. I have a boy and a girl. They both just got the shot. All right, so you want to get it for your males as well as your females. Why is that? For your males, it doesn't typically cause a cancer, but they can transmit this virus if they get it. For the females, you want to protect them if they acquire this high-risk HPV in the future. So that's the vaccination. It's called Gardasil. It's a 3-series vaccine that they get over a course of a few months. But from 9 to 26, if you ask, well, if I've had sex and then I'm 20 years old, can I still get it? Absolutely. Because you possibly could have gotten a high-risk strain of HPV, but you didn't get all of them. So you can protect yourself from the other high-risk strains of HPV as well.